How do I overcome stage fright? This is the topic in today's video from my series Practice Tips for Piano Students. It is a difficult question to answer. A lot of pianists ask that question. Very few of them answer it. And the reason it is a difficult question to answer is because there might be a number of reasons why we would feel uneasy, nervous, anxious, or frightened on stage. And every pianist has experienced one form or another of stage fright. So I'd like to present 7 points today that might help those of you that have experienced or are currently experiencing forms of stage fright. The first point is we have to rely on 3 basic skills: technique, reading, and memorization. We need to trust that each of these 3 areas are strong and that all the pieces that we're about to play have undergone an extensive practice, so we can feel secure technically, secure that the reading was accurate and we will not play wrong notes, and that the memorization was also extensive, so we can feel confident that the pieces that we're about to play are ready. That alone should give us a good, comfortable feeling on stage. That trust, 100% trust. The second point is the level of the pieces. If we insist on playing pieces that are beyond our current level of ability, we will be anxious because we know the pieces are not ready. We know the pieces are technically not mastered. There are a lot of technical problems or some technical problems, and the memorization may not be there. The piece or pieces may have wrong notes, and yet very often I see young pianists insisting on playing those pieces that they're not ready for. That could explain many episodes of stage fright. And it can be avoided. It should be avoided. We should not insist on playing pieces beyond our level. The third point is we need to identify possible sources of stage fright. Usually this could happen early on when we first perform in public as children or as young teenagers. And unfortunately, very often the people around us, parents, friends, siblings, teachers, peers, they could sometimes criticize us very heavily after a performance. Instead of concentrating on the good, they concentrate on the bad, and they criticize us and sometimes even ridicule us. That should be avoided because that could have a lifetime effect on a young pianist. And we should always try to focus on the good and build on the good, and always look forward to the next performance to correct things that were wrong, to work harder on having the pieces ready, and to perform the pieces more often in preparation of a recital. So that should be avoided, that kind of criticism. So if we try to understand what is the source of our stage fright, you might discover that you were criticized when you started playing and you forgot about it, but the impact is still there. The fright feeling is still there when you go on stage. The fourth point that I think might be helpful is to think that when we perform, we're not the center of attention. We should not be the center of attention or the spotlight. Just convince yourself that the experience is not about you. It's about the music. So you somehow remove yourself from the center of attention. You do not need to feel the pressure that all eyes are on you and the people are just ready to criticize any little mistake that you make. Just remove yourself from the center. You are not the center of attention. You should not be the center of attention. You are not in the spotlight. It's not about you, it's about the music. And then you can relax and just really focus on the music, which is the next point I wanted to make, the fifth point. When you're performing, you should focus on the music. Sing it. Enjoy it. Feel it. Just ride along as if you were another spectator, which you are. You are a performer, but you're also audience. You're listening to your piece. You're enjoying the outcome of your piece. So that's an important point. Do not focus on anything else. Block your mind from any other thoughts. Anything. The only thing you need to be thinking about and feeling and listening to is the music that's coming out of your fingers. The sixth point that I wanted to make is that we need to seize on any possible performance opportunity. We need to constantly be performing. Using any opportunity to sit at a piano, go to a friend's house, there's a piano, play a piece. You're in a hotel, there's a piano, sit down, play for 2 minutes, play a piece. You're anywhere, I've seen pianists playing in an airport now lately. So if you happen to be in an airport and there's a piano, go play. Seize any opportunity to play so that you can feel comfortable performing for others. And some occasions will be formal, some could be informal. Not every opportunity has to be formal. So the frequent performing in front of others will also give you a level of comfort that you can then bring to the stage when you are in a more important performance. And finally, I also wanted to discuss the seventh point today, that we need to pick the right pieces for a performance. Every level of piano has hundreds and hundreds of pieces that are really good pieces. But some pieces are good for recitals and others are not. We need to have the guidance of someone that can help us pick pieces. Some pieces are too long, too repetitive, too boring. And the program should have a variety of music. It should be well thought, well planned. It should have a crescendo towards the end. And we should emphasize the performing a number of composers, a number of styles. And pieces should be short. They shouldn't be too long. We shouldn't play pieces that are 1 hour long unless we have a complete mastery of this piece and we're performing for the right audience. You're in Carnegie Hall. Yes, you can play a piece for 3 hours because you have a Carnegie Hall audience. But if you're performing somewhere else for a less than educated audience, then you should know exactly what pieces you can play, because people can start feeling uneasy, tired, cranky, and start making noises and making you nervous and leaving the performance, which is the worst thing for a performer. In the middle of a performance, have people leaving. That should tell you something. Something is wrong. People should be sitting until the end. Maybe you didn't plan the correct repertoire for that audience. You need to know your audience. You need to know who you're playing for. So anyway, these are the 7 points that I think could help. As always, I invite you to discuss some of these points with me through email or through any other form if you need any further help with any of these points. So until next time, I will say as usual, good night. This is Martin Soderberg, and enjoy your performing in front of others. Good night.